Hi lovelies and welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's Jana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video.
So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok and I thought to share with you guys where this sister, is actually here to share a fact that have to make black people to actually open their eyes. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section. But before then, don't forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatever. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright, lovely, let's dive into it.
Because this man, the killer of Sonya Massey, is going to end up getting less time if we do not focus and put pressure on this like we did with George Floyd's killer, Derek Chauvin. I talked about this a couple of years ago, but this is Jason Van Dyke. He was a Chicago police officer who murdered this little 17-year-old boy in cold blood. Laquan was having some type of mental episode, which I'm very familiar with because of my mental health. He was walking down the street, he had a knife, he was not doing anything violent. Other cops had responded to the situation. No shooting had occurred. They were asking him to drop the knife, which he didn't because obviously he's not in his right mindset. This man and a group of other officers pulled up, and within a couple of seconds, Jason Van Dyke opened fire on Laquan McDonald. In total, they said he shot 16 bullets. He continued to shoot Laquan as Laquan is on the ground. He continued to shoot for 10 seconds. That is a long time when we're talking about shooting. He only ended up getting less than 7 years. He got a total sentence of not even 7 years. He was released 2 years ago with 3 years in time served. He killed this little 17-year-old black child. The cop, Jason Van Dyke, said he feared for his life because he thought Laquan was going to run up on him with a knife. Body cam footage shows that Laquan was walking away. And keep in mind, the cop almost immediately started shooting as soon as he got on the scene. The courts then decided that less than 7 years was good enough for this murder of this 17-year-old little black boy child. Because even though he was walking away from them with the knife, even though the cop started shooting within seconds of coming onto the scene, that maybe he could have felt that his life was in danger because Laquan didn't drop the knife. And they justified that by saying that Laquan still held onto the knife even while he was crumpled on the ground, and as Jason Van Dyke continued to shoot his lifeless body for 10 seconds. That's what happens when we stop paying attention. See, right now, this officer, Sean Grayson, who murdered Sonya Massey in her fucking home by shooting her in the face, because our eyes are on it, even though they're drifting now, the judge did not grant him a pretrial release. You know how I know it's because our eyes are on it? Because the chief of police or whatever over this precinct has actually decided to step down because he said, and this is basically a quote, "The political climate will not allow me to do my job." If we weren't paying attention to it, he would have never stepped down. And I know it even further because this is a cop who has colon cancer with the colostomy bag. The attorney's argument was he needs to be released so he can have proper care for his cancer. This is a white man and a cop. If we weren't paying attention to it, he would have been released. The fact that most of y'all don't know that, who were talking all about it and posting all these fucking videos over and over and over again of Sonya Massey being shot in the face, don't know any of this information. I hate performatism. I hate it. If we don't watch this trial, if we don't put pressure on this, they're going to empathize with him in court. Oh, he's got cancer. And he's not going to get the life sentence he deserves. And there's some similarities between Jason Van Dyke, the officer who murdered Laquan McDonald, Sean Grayson. You want to know what it is? Van Dyke had a history of doing shit too. It says several black motorists testified that he used a racial slur and excessive force during traffic stops in the year before the 2014 shooting. In 2005, Van Dyke used a racial slur and put a gun to the head of a man during a traffic stop while using racial slurs. 2007, during a traffic stop, another person said that the officer cursed and slammed him on the car's hood, grabbed him by the arms, and pulled him into the squad car. And you know what Van Dyke's wife and his daughter had to say? Oh, we're being bullied at school. Somebody put 16 on my desk, 16 referring to the 16 shots that he shot at Laquan McDonald as he murdered him. That's the daddy's fault. What happens to the father happens to the children. I hope those white kids are being bullied. Wife, I can't get a job. My daughter can't get into a dance group. We're talking about the death of a child. But because they're black, they don't view it that way. Your husband deserves to be dead. This is what was read on behalf of Laquan. I'm a 17-year-old boy, and I am a victim of murder. I am unable to speak in my own voice because an officer thought he would become judge, jury, and executioner. Why should this person who ended my life forever, who has never asked for forgiveness, be free when I am dead forever? But your children are being bullied? But you can't get your daughter into dance class? And all this, he was barely given 7 years and released in 3, 2 years ago. His daughter blamed the media for shaming police officers for doing their job of killing innocent 17-year-old black boys, apparently. See it run in the family because this bitch could be a doctor, she could be an attorney, she could be a judge, she could be any of those things, making life decisions over the black people she don't give a fuck about. Death to that bitch too. I say all that to say that we can focus on petty TikTok drama or fucking celebrity news more than this and then cry out saying, why are we dying? Why are we dying? Why are we dying? Because we fucking don't give a shit for real. Honestly, I think black people say Black Lives Matter. But in reality, we have been taught that our lives really don't matter, so we're desensitized to it. Grayson, the murderer of Sonya Massey, has another chance to appeal now. The first hearing is scheduled for the end of the month, and I can't find a date. The similarities between Van Dyke, who murdered Laquan, and this man who murdered Sonya is that he had a long record too. And y'all may have known that, but did you know the details? He was discharged from the Army for DUIs, multiple DUIs. He hit a car on one, and that's when they discharged him. And they still didn't give him dishonorable discharge. He worked for 6 different law enforcement agencies in the past 4 years. He went on a police chase 101 miles per hour. In those DUIs, he had an unregistered gun in his car. He still got 6 different badges. In 2002, Chelsea Lowe reported, before all this happened, that Grayson popped in on her while she was undressed during a drug search at the hospital. He resigned before the complaint was investigated. Not to mention his possible white supremacist tattoos under the guise of Viking tattoo. What is up with you white people, you white men and Vikings? You would have never made it. Look at you. You couldn't pillage. You look like the pillaged. Sonya Massey will never receive justice under this system. No black person will ever receive justice under this system. Because the only justice is death to that motherfucker. Or I take, cutting off his arms and his legs and his dang-a-lang and his tongue so he can never talk and he can just lead a miserable existence. There's a Stop Asian Hate bill passed. But there's a George Floyd Justing and Policing Act. which simply says that all of these things, these charges will be in a database so that they can be reviewed before hiring a cop, which is insane to me, because when they sit back and they run my ID and my history, when they pull me over, they bring up charges from when I was a juvenile that are expunged and that they're not supposed to talk about at all. They can run my whole history. When he applied at Logan Sheriff's Office, an employment record from Auburn, south of Springfield, where he had worked previously, showed that while Grayson was always early for work, eager for training, of course he loves killing people, receptive to criticism and had not faced disciplinary action, he struggled with report writing, was not great with evidence, left items laying around office, and was a bragger. And they said, yep, we want to hire somebody who lies. And what was he bragging about? Probably police brutality that he had done. 0 out of 10 black people. We got to do better.
Before killing Sonya Massey, he was discharged from the Army for serious misconduct. What does that mean? Well, we can't find out because the documents are sealed. The Department of Defense prevents releasing information relating to misconduct of low-level employees. But a former Air Force prosecutor said a good way of looking at it is if a civilian did it in the regular world, and it was a misdemeanor, it wouldn't be called a serious offense. So that means it was more serious than a misdemeanor. He was discharged from the Army for something more serious than a misdemeanor and then got a job as a police officer, but not before 2 DUIs that he pled guilty to. One right after another, 2 years in a row. He shouldn't have even had a license, much less be a police officer. Not to mention he was ping-ponged to 6 different departments in 4 years. Obviously, there was something going on with his conduct. Otherwise, he wouldn't be transferred so many times. He wasn't even full-time. He was a part-time police officer. Pause here for a timeline of all of his transfers. Yeah, that's a lot. He did work full-time twice. Slow clap for that. Someone who was already a criminal was selected to uphold the law and given a gun. He executed a woman after she called the police because she thought someone was breaking into her house, and he did it in front of someone. Imagine what he was doing when no one was looking. I want to see his hard drive.
So apparently Sean Grayson's wife, Isabel Butterfield, works at the hospital that Sonya Massey visited for medical care prior to calling the police. It's also been found that her father is a retired chief of police. So did something happen at the hospital between Isabel Butterfield and Sonya Massey prior to Sonya Massey going home, which prompted Isabel Butterfield to call her husband Sean Grayson, which then may have prompted him to go to Sonya Massey's house and make a disturbance outside for her to have to call the police. And then you respond. And then you and your partner just so happen to respond to Sonya Massey's call to the police. You knock on her door with your chest puffed out, and then you take her life unjustly. Is that what really happened? And I'm going to tag below the creator that I got the information from in my video.
Like, seriously, lovely, is the fact that these people have feel so comfortable to keep on doing stuff like this, to keep it as if it's a repetition. Like, that's what actually bothers me. And they know exactly what they are doing. They will just, try as much as they can to make the situation calm so much, and they will see that people are beginning to move on with their life. People are beginning to forget about what happened. That is when they'll try as much as they can to actually free the culprit. And to even, this is something that keep on repeating itself. It's not even quite long before that of Sonya Massey. There is actually a guy whom till today, I think they are trying their possible best to also forget about that. This young guy, I think he's about 26 years old. He's, a first guy. I think I also stitched the video here. His own case was that of he was on a FaceTime with either his girlfriend, and I think his voice was raising, and a neighbor who happens to be a pan-colored woman decided to call a cop on him, saying that that she thinks that there is actually a conflict in his room. And on getting there, on the cops getting there, he decided that, okay, he saw him with something. on him. Like he saw him with a weapon, you know, and he decided to fire. This man in question, you know, have been asking who is at the door when, you know, he had a knock on the door. And the cop, on the other hand, didn't say nothing. And he keep on asking. This is what, you know, the girlfriend who he was on FaceTime with have to explain. Then that was when he have to take up something that he is in position with. He has the right to hold that because he's even like he's a first person. So you should know. And holding that, he was not even pointing it. He was pointing it down, like it was facing down. He have to open the door to actually know who was at the door. That was when this, you know, man have to like do whatever he have to do. And all of a sudden, justice for this, justice for that. Until today, like, it's as if people are like, seriously, nobody knows. Like, I've been trying to look for an update to see what happened, and I'm not even seeing this teacher anymore. And now this is the case of Sonya Massey. And coupled with the lady, you know, the sister teacher video, she was talking about a guy who actually have this, you know, was sick, and he was just holding a knife, you know, walking away, and they have to do whatever they feel. And after a few years, this man was released. Now, look at Sonya Massey. There's a lot of things that is coming up with this guy. So many people, you know, bring it up that he has cancer. He needs to go for some like, I don't get it. So he have a medical condition, but he think that it was okay to unalive someone that also have a medical condition. So his own medical condition need an attention, but someone else's medical condition, you know, is not important. So they are trying to like, oh, he has cancer, he need a medical treatment, medical attention, so we have to give him some. What about Sonya Massey? What about her that also have a medical condition? Why wasn't she treated like someone that has, even if she does not have? Why was she treated in such manner? Why was she treated in such manner? And now they want the public to feel pity on this man that is so cold-hearted, you know, that took away an innocent woman, a woman that you are better than, you are like in terms of physical. If they should go physical, he's a man, she's the woman, like, and they try to bring up a narrative that she was trying to pour him a pot of water. It was a self-defense. He was triggered because of the I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And you want the public to see reasons with you now because you have some kind of sickness that needed attention. But you never gave a room for a woman who has a sickness that also needed attention. Like seriously. You know, sometimes when I just go on my For You page, I just keep on to, I just try to like see if I can see an update. What is the final judgment? Like, what is happening? Everyone is just so mute. I don't get it. I don't know what these people are trying to do. I think Black people should actually know that, okay, they don't have your best interest at heart. Like, you are the only one that is in charge of yourself. These people don't care. They don't care. Like, you have to save yourself because it's as if even the society will not even save you. So you just have to, you know, struggle. Anything you do, make sure you survive. Anything you do, make sure you survive, because if you don't, the way at which the world will move on, the world will so move on without you. And there are so many of these evil people roaming around the streets, like with no heart. They say that, there is no rape and see slavery is something that happened, years back and all of that. But it's so sad that even till date, black people cannot even get justice. Black people are still treated the way, like some people that does not deserve living. It's so disheartening that even in 2024, things are still not done right. In 2024, there is still discrimination. But when we try to bring up the topic, a lot of people will just come on the comment section talking about how, oh my God, why are you saying this? It does not exist. Look at it. Look at what we're trying. They just assume that this is, let's just flip the table a little bit. Do you think this is how all of the things will just go down to a quiet time, trying to bring up stories upon stories? There is a footage that I actually staged. The way there's a footage I saw him, and I staged the video. It was in cell, and the way at which all of the were just around him, like as if he's one prince of what? I don't get it. Anyway, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video? I really don't want to talk much. A lot of people say that I talk much, but it's just that I really have to experience myself. Like, this is just getting too much. Please leave your thought in the comment section. Subscribe if you've not done that already. Share, and I will see you lovely when I upload.
Watch up to this extent. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video, and do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So please share this video, subscribe if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovely when I upload the next one.